Editing Anna here. A couple of things real quick. One, kind of wanted to apologize for taking so long to get this video out to you guys. I know that you guys had been asking questions and looking forward to this. If you follow us on social media, you'll be aware of things kind of going on behind the scenes. Number two, I do want to apologize in advance for voice quality. I've been having some breathing issues, so it's kind of raspy in certain points. We tried to use some tack to kind of make up for that. Okay, enjoy the video, guys. Hi guys, it's Anna from Kit and Cat. Welcome to my doll room. Corey and I started this channel a while back and to share my adventures in crafting and sewing for dolls. And I just wanted to say thank you guys. Your comments and likes and subscribing, it's just been amazing. I love reading your comments and engaging with you guys and, you know, answering questions and things like that. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart. I didn't start out with the smart dolls. I actually collected fashion dolls, and my favorite thing to do was to kind of make my own characters out of them, make their outfits, pose them, do them in photography. You can see some of the girls up front, their little themes in that. I do have a granddaughter. Her name's Ava. Shout out to you. Hello. She is still young yet, but when she would come over, she would want to play with Grandma, with her Grandma's dolls. Thing is a lot of my dolls are collectibles, and some of them are kind of fragile or a little too much to trust a very small child with. So, especially because she always wants to play with the big Barbies, as she calls them. So I've kind of been keeping my eye open for something that, you know, would kind of fit her play style, but we could, you know, still have some fun with. Earlier in the summer, MGA showed sneak peeks of this doll, and I've been waiting for her to come out because I was really interested in her. You know, as you can see, I really kind of like the Rainbow High. I like the quality of the doll, even with the stuff that they come with. I mean, these are custom outfits. So she came available this weekend. She was supposed to be here Monday, but tracking said, sorry, you gotta wait another day. But she came today, so I'm all excited. I want to get her out of the box. I don't really necessarily want to do an unboxing, but I do want to kind of see, you know, what she's like, what her articulation is like. You know, I kind of thought, you know, a good my first BJD, even though, you know, don't get upset. I know she's not a ball jointed doll, but you know, she's kind of comparable in size, I think, to Grandma's big Barbies, her smart dolls. So also wanted to kind of check to see her articulation, and I have some outfits that I've made with my patterns for the smart dolls. So kind of wanted to see if maybe there's some items that she could fit into, or you know, if there's some things that might work with some alteration. I will be making patterns. I've started making a few for the Rainbow High, the regular size ones. So we will be taking her measurements down, and I will share those. I'll have those in the description below. And yeah, let's get her out of the box. So I had mentioned that I was going to take her out of the box, and I noticed a few things about her packaging that I wanted to share with you guys. Down here at the bottom, it does say that it is for 6 and up. So if you do have, like me, a grandchild, or you have a child that you're considering getting this for like Christmas or as a present, there are some small parts in here. Now I got her on Amazon for basically $100. I do understand that these are starting to make it into stores like Target, and Target, I believe some people said they were able to get her in Target for $80, which was her original published price, so she's somewhere in that range. The YouTube sticker is because they do have a web series, a little cartoon, and it's cute. Okay. So, and I really like the back. She's got her artist drawing, and it's got this little holographic rainbow shimmer look to it. I actually want to see if I can save the box, because this might be kind of fun to cut out as like a decoration for their room, you know, like a standee. On the side of the box, we have a chart here that shows all the things that are included. And as you can see, there's quite a bit. We have her and her outfit, and there's actually a black tank top underneath this hoodie. Her belt you're supposed to be able to take off because the child can wear it as a necklace with the charms that spell rainbow. Package here, there's a ring and 2 bracelets, and that's for the child to wear also. So she's called My Runway Friend, Amaya, and Maya Rain Series 1, so they might make more later on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my knife. She looks like she might be easier to get out of her package than the regular Rainbow High dolls. And that's kind of one of my pet peeves, is all the extra plastic packaging. Oh yeah. So I got her out of the box, and it was actually a little easier than I thought it would be. They did put a couple of those little jibbers, I guess is what you call them, in her head. But there was 3 of them, and they're still kind of small like the ones they use in there. So she's got one sticking out the back, but that's not bad. Not a lot of plastic packaging or anything like that. Everything, all the plastic stayed in the box, so I don't have a lot of trash. She has, I really like these stockings. I think these are actually nicer than some of the ones I've gotten for our BJDs or for our smart dolls. Very silky feeling, so I like her thigh socks. Her little shoes, one says R for rainbow, the other one says H for high. And I like her purse. Her purse, is it gibbered? Yeah, there's a lot of those little plastic ties holding everything down. So she's got some holding her jacket and her shirt and her skirt and each one of these. So it'll take me some time to get all of the plastic bits so I can get to her stuff. She actually has a little tiny ring, so it matches the little ring for the little girl. And she's got one of her bracelets on this side with a couple of little charms, and they're loose so they dangle, just like this one. And she's got kind of another bracelet over here that matches the gold one, and it says RH2. I'm really impressed with this because she actually has working buttonholes, and that's not something that we get in the smaller scale. Not even Jet Dawson had working buttonholes. She did have a working belt. She's got a working button on her skirt, and there's actually a zipper in here, so she's got a working zipper, which is really cool. And she's got working pockets, because you know me, if it has pockets, the pockets have to work. So she could actually put something in there. In fact, actually, excuse me, dear, I'm gonna borrow this. I got a little cell phone from one of those little purse little sets. She can put her cell phone in her pocket. Actually, that's the right size for her. But check that. It's a little small, but it's still cute. It's her tiny phone. So, okay, that was silly. She does have a little gel in her hair, mostly in the bottom and the ringlets for her display in the box. But you can wash that out the same way you do the smaller ones. Just a little cool water, not boiling hot water if you want to save the curls. And then I actually use synthetic wig shampoo that's meant for like wigs for people. And they also have a conditioner, which is really nice because it softens the hair and it's an anti-static. So her rooting's pretty good around the front. I'm not, you know, you could pull her hair back. Her neckline is pretty good, so you could give her a ponytail. So that's pretty good. I don't think you could give her pigtails. You might have to kind of work that because, you know, playline dolls, they're not rooted like humans are, but she's got a pretty heavy amount of hair back here. And the box says it's 14 inches long, so I like that. I like the colors. And she's got a little bit of a frosted lip. I like the makeup. I like the makeup. They gave her a matte face with a little bit of blush, so she doesn't have that pearlescent shine that they did with the first series dolls. Some of those just literally look like they stuck their face in glitter. So I like the matte face. She is the same. Now, she's not going to be the same mold because she's a different size, but she does appear to have the same eye shape as... Yeah, she's got a similar eye shape to Cheryl. She's a season 3, which is a little different than the season 1. The season 1 dolls, their eyes were like really round, like a circle. So hers are a little bit more shaped. And they appear to be inset. Yeah, they are inset eyes, and she does have eyelashes. And there's a little bit of glitter eyeliner underneath the eyelashes, so it's kind of subtle. So overall, I think she would be a really cute doll to put under the Christmas tree for a child. And honestly, if you collect like fashion dolls, I think she'd be fine to display like this. Now, she doesn't come with a stand, but if you check online, you might be able to find a Kaiser stand for some of the larger porcelain dolls. I mean, I know that's old school porcelain dolls. And in that case, she would stand. I mean, I could probably balance her, but I think her head, I wouldn't trust her to stand like this for a long time, especially if I was moving around, but she will balance, I think, long enough for a photo just on her feet. But yeah, I want to go ahead. I want to get her down to her skivvies. We'll leave the tank top on because of doll nudity on YouTube. And we'll check out her articulation and see how she can move. I can at least check the head now. She can tip her head. She can turn her head. Now, can she tip? She can't really tip it much forward. She can tip it more backwards than forward, and I think that's just because of the shape of the way the neck piece is down here. But you can still get a hello. So yeah, I'm gonna take all the little bits of plastic off so we can see what she looks like underneath the jacket and the hoodie and that. Okay, so 400 years later, there are a lot of those little plastic tacks to hold pieces together for her for display in her box. So as I was taking them off, I actually had a thought if you wanted to give it to a child who's going to be very excited for Christmas and going to want to play with her, I kind of would suggest maybe remove her from the box a little, because a child's going to want to rip her out of the box and take the clothes off, and because there's so many of those little things holding her outfit together, there's a couple in the sweatshirt that if you pulled those, you might end up with holes in her shirt. The skirt is a woven material. It does have an inner facing, but that material will snag and pull a hole if you just tried to pull that right off. Especially the belt that is supposed to be a necklace, because each one of the charms had a plastic tab holding the letter to the skirt. So that was quite a bit. I think it took me at least 10 minutes to get all those pieces off. The necklace belt, it's actually metal and it's actually pretty heavy. Good on MGA for that. I like that detail. And she comes with the 2 bracelets, the ring. The ring had a rubber band to hold it to her finger, so expect this to be the first thing that's lost if you give it to a child. Her hands have a French manicure with little French tips. I thought that was so cute. Speaking of details, I've got her back in her shoes when I took her stockings off, because her feet are molded in that high heel position. Now the ankle does move, so they'll rotate, you know, around, and there's some flexibility to do like a ballet foot, but these are not going to be flat feet, so that's going to be a concern. So if you wanted to change her outfit, you wanted to put her in something else, it either has to match the shoes, or she can go barefoot, or possibly, I've got some, these are SD 16 hiking boots, and these are for BJDs, and they come with a zipper in the back. I would have to loosen up the laces on the front, but I can. So that means if you had sneakers, high tops, yeah, they have to be high tops, or like the boots here, you could find shoes for her to wear. You just might be a little limited. The shirt velcros in the back. I borrowed Cheryl's scrunchie because it's a lot of hair. So she has the same knee as the small girls. Now, I did notice something when I was undressing her. This knee does not work the same. It actually clicks, so I would hold the kneecap and hold the thigh, and it takes some time when you first do it. It's really stiff, but it will loosen up. So she's got the top bend, and like a BJD, she is double jointed, and she can actually touch, she can almost touch her calf to her thigh. So that is the same as the newer articulation, like on the Series 3 dolls. The Series 1 couldn't go that far back, but it clicks and you can hear it. So I don't want to break her right off the bat. So there, you can hear the clicks. Okay. And I think they did that so that when she's wearing her shoes and she's standing, she'll stay standing. Just like the smaller one, she does have that mobility joint in the thigh, so she can turn her legs out. There is this little cap piece. Some BJDs have this as well. It's kind of a cover that allows them to make a higher cut into the torso, the hip, so to allow for more mobility. So for here and here, she is similar to a BJD. She can bring her leg back, which that's about normal. I don't think I can go, you know. She can bring it forward pretty close to 90 degrees so she can sit. She can also rotate it out. And what this does is it kind of hides that joint a little bit so the clothes don't get stuck up in it and you know, pull the clothes. She has the wrist joint. Now her hands do not come out like the smaller ones. So anytime we're doing sewing for her, I'll have to make sure that I measure the width of her palm so that anything that has a sleeve can fit over that. So it'll rotate around, it'll go up, it'll go down, it will go down. Okay. She's got an elbow, it will do 360. It does not come in as far as these dolls do because they actually have a peg. She's got more of a cylinder up in there. She does have the shoulder that comes in and out and will rotate around. So she can touch her forehead. She can't quite get low enough to touch her ear because she can't get in here. I think I might be able to modify that. Good old Dremel tool. She can almost, well, she can touch her nose with her thumb, but not her forefinger. We showed you earlier with the head, you know, she can tip her head, turn her head. She, like the Jet Dawson, also has a torso joint. As far as I know, Jet Dawson is the only one that has this joint right here. So she can swivel around. And what I like about that is because when I'm doing photography with my dolls, I like them to be able to do that S curve pose. And she could just about do that. You know, kind of like our girls back here can do. Shoulder down, head back the other way. So she's got some pretty good mobility. She's got a lot more mobility than like the big My Size Barbie or the Disney dolls that are that size. So that's good. So yeah, overall, I think she's got some potential here. Definitely. So, I think, my dear, what we need to do next is we need to take your measurements. So we're going to measure the doll. Corey says I should do the big head first. I will be measuring in inches and centimeters. I have my measurement chart. I'm going to go ahead and write them in. I will type these out and put them down in the description, as well as I'll go ahead and scan the sheet, and then we'll have that on our other social media, Instagram and Facebook, for you. Yeah, okay. And that's all of our measurements. That will allow me to draft a toile or a sloper. Those are like the basic like the most basic top to a blouse, and like a basic pant or skirt shape. And what I do is from that sloper, that will allow me to add details, add sleeves, add fullness, you know, to come up with all of the different patterns that we come up with. We have our measurements for my runway friend. I had been getting some questions. The Rainbow High people know that I have been starting to do some patterns for the regular dolls and wanted to know if I would be doing patterns for the big one, and that's a yes. I also had some people that were asking me questions as to whether or not the patterns that they had already purchased from me for their smart doll would work on the Rainbow High, the large Rainbow High doll. So I have here a stack of some of our most popular patterns, and I thought we'd just kind of go and see what fits, what might need some tweaking. So if you have the pattern already, you can start sewing for her if it fits. If not, then we'll know that, you know, the patterns will be forthcoming. So we're just going to kind of do a real quick switch. So one of the things I have here, this is an SD16 t-shirt, not SD13. Now I bought this t-shirt. I bought it online. I actually bought like 12 of them for them to wear as kind of a night shirt or default item to wear while they're in between changes. This would work if you alter it. You're not going to fit that over that 16-inch head, but if you wanted, you could slice up the back, maybe put Velcro or snaps, you know, and then you could probably fit that over her given the measurements. But that's SD16. So if you did want to buy something online, you can look for that size. I think that would fit her shoulders and her hips. So the first pattern that I want to try is going to be probably our most popular one, and you guys are familiar with because we used it for our sewing tutorial, and that's our paper bag pants. And these are actually the original paper bag pants. So we'll try those on her. Okay, so the paper bag pants are a bust as they are currently done. This part, because of the gap, it won't close. You can't get it up over. So when I draft the new pattern, I'll have to put some more room. So that's a no for now. And we have the ruffled dress. I made this one in kind of a Hawaiian print originally for Kat. She hasn't worn it yet. You've seen the white one that's a shorter one. But that's our ruffled summer dress. This one is made out of a very stretchy t-shirt material, so, and it has elastic at the top, so I'm thinking maybe I can slide it up feet first. Maybe she can wear it. We'll have to see if it'll fit her hips. Okay, so we had a little bit more success with the ruffled summer dress. Now, bear in mind the elastic at the top is a little tight on her because it's actually measured for their shoulders. But I think that would work as a blouse if you cut it short. She is almost 1/4 head. We measured her, and from her shoulder to the ground, she's actually like 17 inches tall, so it's probably about 18 with her shoes on. So as the pattern is now, we got kind of a Morticia thing going, but there is a little space. I want to add a little bit more ease at the hip, so it will not be the same pattern as the Smart Doll pattern, just because I want to make sure that it isn't too tight here, because this only works because this is a stretchy material. But it did come up and over her shoulders, so I think we've got a good start here for her for this one. And our next one is one of our newest patterns, and it's the short overalls. And I'm thinking these will fit because I can get them up from the bottom. Again, anything that's going to go over her head is not going to work, but I think you know, with a t-shirt or something like that, a basic pattern, I could get this on her. It looks like it might fit. So the overalls, a couple of things. Again, her hips are very wide, and I think part of it is because of that big gap. So we'll have to widen the overalls. I probably might make them just a tad bit longer. I know a lot of people like them really short. I just don't want to expose the mobility joint. The straps actually need to be a lot shorter. So everything works pretty good up until we get to this area here. So she's wider hip, narrower bust, shorter torso. Yeah, you look cute in those. This one actually originally started as a green dress that you had seen in our grand opening video with all of the dolls. I think Erin was wearing it. And it was actually a dress from a Candy Fashion doll, which was a 22-inch doll. Now that doll was a little bit wider than Smart Doll. So when I drafted this pattern, I narrowed the waist a little bit, but we're gonna see if this will fit on her. So I might have to do some adjustments in the length, especially in the torso area. And this is the vintage reproduction dress, we'll call it that. Good news, it did actually snap in the back. She's got it completely closed. Now, if you have this pattern, you want to make it, I would suggest starting the opening for the back about here. I know I talked about in one of my last videos about how if you're making a pair of pants for a doll, to start the gap in the back at the widest part of the tush. So this one is just about a ½ inch too high. I got it over her hips, but I had to be really delicate to make sure that I didn't pop that seam. But, and the collar's supposed to kind of stand up. It's not a tight fitting bodice on the dress, but Corey and I both noticed that the doll is smaller up top and she's shorter up top. So it would affect how a collar would lay on a shirt, or if it's a dress with like this with the waist. This waist is actually a little high on purpose because of the vintage style, but that part actually works for her. So I think this is the best one we had so far as fitting without any alterations to the pattern. And our last one, just so she has something to wear, this is the shawl collar robe from our spa set. I'm actually thinking this may fit her better than it does the ones behind me because it is a little bit of a wider pattern. Wanted to make sure that this would fit more than just Smart Doll when I drafted it. So it's a unisex pattern. It's meant to fit the macho guys. So, and that'll be nice because this will work as like a protective outfit in between things. This one, if you're willing to do a little bit of adjusting, this one actually does work. The sleeves are long, so you would want to need to hem them back so that they're shorter. And the belt loops are too low for her because of her short torso, but that would be an easy fix. You just put the belt loops up higher where she needs them. Other than that, it would work for her. Final thoughts. I kind of went through some of the questions I had gotten, some of the questions I had seen on the Rainbow High groups, and even a few questions some Smart Doll groups had asked about this particular doll. And one of them is if you were considering a ball jointed doll, but you weren't sure if you were ready for the bigger dolls, which generally are the SD, the 60 centimeters. Is this a good tryout? It kind of depends. Of course, she's not an actual ball jointed doll. But given her availability and her price difference, $100 is a pretty small investment if you wanted to try out a bigger doll, you know, if it would fit in your collection, if you're comfortable handling her. She is quite heavy, especially top heavy. And her joints work different than a fashion doll. There's a little bit more strength needed to move like her knees. Another question that was asked was, is she worth her price point? I paid $100 for her. She's between $80 and $100. I think she is. She's kind of on that same scale at that price point as an American Girl doll. You know, she's very definitely intended to be like a big gift for a child, but she comes with a lot of very detailed pieces. I mean, even without the jewelry for the kid, she came with at least 2 different outfits. And the stitching and the detail is really good on these outfits. Her little tank top has actually got embroidery, gold thread embroidery on it, on the sleeve and around the collar. And that's something that you don't usually see until you start to get into like my Silkstones and things like that on a smaller scale. And Barbie's come out with some $100 dolls that didn't have nearly as many details either. The jacket has got buttons and working buttonholes. It's got multiple pieces, and the cuffs, when you flip them back, they're finished. There's no raw edges there. It's actually top stitched with a thread that changes colors of the rainbow, so you get that detail. And the fabric of the jacket is actually a brocade. It's a woven pattern, so it has like all of the little rainbow high elements to it. And the boucle for the skirt, those are really good high-end pieces that you would look for in a mass-produced but collectible doll for that level. The stockings are nicer than some I've gotten from my ball jointed dolls, honestly. I love the little bracelet, the hairpins, the chain belt, the purse. The purse actually opens. You could put, you know, coins in it, or a gift of money if you were giving it as a gift. So I think she's worth her price point. Cons on the doll. She does need a spa day. Just running through my fingers through her hair, it did want to start to frizz at the bottom. So if a child was playing with this, that hair is probably gonna get funky real quick. So that's kind of a con to me. I wish she could tilt her head a little bit more. We both agreed that from the torso down, she has very good posability as far as her knees, her thigh, and her torso. In fact, actually, her knees are a little bit more flexible than the Smart Doll because she can kneel. Smart Dolls can only do like a 90 degree. But with a lot of higher end BJDs, you get that as well. I'm not too cool on the feet because of the way that they're molded and the size that they're molded. She really, at this point, only has one choice for shoes. Finding her shoes, you're not going to be able to get like 18-inch doll shoes to fit her. So it's going to take some research and some trying to find maybe a BJD shoe that's going to fit her. But you also have to keep in mind that she has a high heel foot or a ballerina foot. She does not have the option to pull her foot out flat. So if you do try to get a boot or something that's not a heel, you're gonna have to kind of figure out how to pack it or fit it in there with like a bulky sock or something to hide the fact that she's on tippy toe in the shoe. I was able to get those SD16 boots. Maybe uncle size might fit, but that's going to be kind of hard to find. So that's a con for me, the fact that she's only got one pair of shoes she can wear. She is a Series 1 doll, so they may do more. They may make fashion packs for her, but typically companies, when they come out with this size doll, this is it. This is all she comes with. So for playability, unless you have some sewing skills or you're willing to do a little bit of shopping to try to find things that fit, you might reconsider the price tag a little bit. If you're a collector and you're wanting to know is this a doll I should add to my collection, well, if you like the rainbow high, you like that aesthetic, I say she's beautiful. I mean, she's beautiful in her packaging. You can really see her. She's cute. I mean, she really is cute. So, 2 thumbs up for me. Thanks, guys, for visiting us with us today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I also hope that we had some valuable insight or information for you if you were considering the doll or wanted to know more about the doll's specifics. Again, we will have that measurement chart in the description. If you like this, please do comment and let us know. Subscribe so that you'll know when we have new content on the channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.